Do you remember when Donald Trump first got into office?
I don't.
No, not particularly.
You mean when he brought the jobs back?
And he brought the job. Well, he supposedly brought a particular set of jobs back to Carrier, and it was a scam because essentially he negotiated tax incentives to keep a handful of jobs in place. And as if I recall correctly, the money was already available, or it had been offered by the Obama administration and rejected by Pence, or up negotiated. I should have actually double checked what the specifics were before this. I do apologize, but maybe we can look that up. But the point was that the story was presented as something that he had uniquely done, and he basically tapped into some form of pre-existing deal to save a handful of jobs in Indiana. Now, Carrier announced earlier this week that 250 workers would be laid off of its Indianapolis plant. This was the one that Trump supposedly saved. Plant on Thursday. The announcement came a year after Trump claimed that he had saved over 2,000 jobs by threatening to tax the hell out of the company if it moved to Mexico. And then, of course, in the end, and this was the point, Governor Mike Pence promised Carrier $7 million in tax incentives to stay in the U.S. So basically, Trump came out, promised a targeted policy on a company, which he, of course, had no idea or explained how he would even remotely begin to do. And, of course, wasn't structural. Nothing like we're going to financially punish companies that move jobs or hold vast majority of money overseas, as an example, like Apple. And then Pence just came out with a tax incentive, which he could have done earlier. And then the story was reported in a fake way, fake news. And now in this news report from the local Fox 59 affiliate, we have Chuck Jones, a former union president, and other workers. Basically, these are the people, some of them at least, these might be in the category of people who are so desperate because of how horrific our economy is under all presidents in the modern era towards labor and working people, that maybe they rolled the dice with Trump and now they see it was all a fraud.
Helping America's manufacturing workers, as we all remember, was a big part of President Trump's 2016 campaign. Nearly 2 years ago, he stood inside the Carrier factory here in Indianapolis and promised to save jobs. Tonight, the workers who say he's forgotten them sent a strong message for thousands of Americans to see.
I'm sorry that people bought into his message. He sold us a bag of and now we're stuck with it for a while.
The former union president, who once feuded with President Donald Trump over manufacturing jobs, now joined by more workers who feel let down by the man they supported.
I now feel betrayed, I feel angry, and I feel forgotten.
Tonight, former Carrier employees shared their stories during a national live stream, hoping the president will hear their frustration. They were counted once optimistically standing in downpours to vote for him.
He was the only candidate to talk about these forgotten men and women, to talk about unfair trade deals, to talk about offshoring. But the problem is he didn't deliver.
We all didn't expect 100% to be saved. That was a given. But we expected a lot more to be saved than what was told that he promised.
At rallies and on Twitter, Trump once claimed there was a 100% chance he could save more than 1,000 Carrier jobs. But union leaders say fewer than 800 remain, with 215 people clocking out tomorrow for the last time. Dwayne Oroscovic is one of the hundreds with only one shift left until the unemployment line.
Yeah, I'm pissed. Pissed, and everyone's sad because we're all departing.
He fears taking another manufacturing job only to go through this same process again in a year or two. Unless the president makes good on his promise to punish and tax companies that move American jobs, he believes that's exactly what will happen.
Sign that executive order for offshoring. All it is it's an easy question. Are you going to sign it or are you not going to sign it? Say yes or no. Yes, you're a hero. No, you're the enemy. It's just that easy.
What I really like about that is that this is a person who might have been deceived. And let's, again, just as we can be totally clear about the Trump base, and I absolutely agree that anybody who voted for Trump was voting to accept things that are totally unacceptable. But at the same time, let's be fair here, too, that these people, their grievances, their anger, what they were concerned about, and what Trump lied to them about, they're absolutely right about. And this guy might have been, he got took in by the scam. But I like that frame at the end. Do it, you're a hero. If not, you're the enemy. We need a lot more of that kind of basic class understanding in American politics.
Yeah, I think people, the reaction where, how could you not do it, is just so worthless and so like you stroking your own back, basically.
It's not, moralism is the enemy of the left. And again, it's this actually, it's very hard to pull off, but it's this obvious balance. If somebody says something, well, we're only going to organize, we're not doing, this is American jobs and people who come from El Salvador aren't American. You smack that down, you totally destroy that because it's wrong and because any broad-based politics is everybody, period. And, but then by that same token, it's like, you're going to sit there. I mean, that trend of like, oh, well, look at these people. They're getting hit with a hurricane. Too bad they voted for Trump, or ha ha ha, you're going to lose your health care. I mean, I would actually say it's disgusting in and of itself. There's very few people. Okay, I'm rooting for Steve Mnuchin to lose his housing and health care. But even in that scenario, when the revolution comes, they'll be in gulags, but they'll still have health care. So, I don't know. I think it's disgusting to wish that. And then even beyond that, setting aside, we can have that debate. It doesn't really matter. You're going to tell this potential future Indiana voter, what's your response? Yeah, man, sorry you got suckered by this fraud scumbag. Here's our plan for higher wages and a good job. Or are we going to be like, hey, we'll have you like your vote. It's not strategic. It's self-satisfied bullshit. Drop it.
It's not an accident that it's been made a luxury to be able to consume hours of news every week, especially if you're a working person.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Oh, and incidentally, Indiana officials who have approved the incentive that include, I'm quoting now, that improved the incentive that included directing $7 million in state tax breaks and grants over 10 years to Carrier towards keeping the Indianapolis factory open. That deal includes Carrier investing $16 million for automation at the plant. The company's CEO has said that ultimately that will mean fewer jobs.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos